What's up, everybody, and welcome to VHS Tacos, first installment of, this is actually good, I swear, please don't go away. That's the title. So, peruse my collection behind you. You really only get like the fourth, fifth, seventh of it. So, we'll tour that in another video, I swear. Tonight, we go over one of my favorites. Now, the whole point of this video series is to maybe open your eyes to see in a different, more positive light, like that one there, a movie that is hated by people everywhere. A lot of people really hate this movie, and it's really upsetting. So it's my job to help you see the good in it. I'm not saying you have to go out and you have to buy it, but maybe you'll be a little less harsh and soul-crushing to myself the next time we happen to run into each other on a particular Reddit forum. My feelings are still hurt. So, tonight's movie, one of my personal favorites, X-Men, Dark Phoenix. So much so that, yeah, I bought the Target exclusive with the poster in 4K. It really wasn't cheap. I get it. The X-Men franchise is inconsistent, to say the least. I guess you would say most of it's kind of leaning towards bad than good. They're goofy fun. You know, they're products of a different age, before the MCU, before what DC has going on. I guess, I don't know. They're corny. They're very 90s-esque. And I guess their biggest issue is that they never left the 90s, which is fine. You know, it's okay to have those every now and then. Venom pulled that off a couple years ago. It feels like in early 2000s, all the way down to that whack soundtrack. But it worked well for it. And that's what Dark Phoenix does. It just takes everything that came before it, and it just keeps going with it. So, I mean, at this point, you're either with it or you're not. Which, judging by the, including my partner and my friend, I guess a total of like 2 people in the theater. I think one of them even checked out about midway through. Not many people were all too into it, or excited for it. I think most people were really just ready for Disney to kind of do their own thing. And don't get me wrong, I am. But there's a lot of good to be found here. Starting with the performances. James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Sophie Turner, Ty Sheridan. I mean, you got some great actors here. And you got actors that care. And maybe they understand that what they have isn't the most Shakespearean way to handle these characters like they deserve to be. But they bring their heart and their soul into it, which is more than I can say about Jennifer Lawrence. But we'll get to that towards the end, when I file some complaints against this. Another positive thing is the action. The action in this, honestly, isn't that bad compared to some other really overly cut action sequences in superhero movies, to the point where you're confused about what movie you're watching at that point. The train sequence in particular, huge standout. I openly mocked that sequence when I saw the trailer for it. And I sat right there, I turned to my wife and I said, that's stupid. This is going to be dumb. Nobody cares about trains anymore. This isn't 1912. So I ate some crow, very happily so. It's very just aggressive, in your face, visceral action scene, and it works. It works so well. And it just, once that sequence starts, that it just kicks off the whole chain of events in the ending, and it literally doesn't stop until the credits roll. And for me, it worked wonders for the movie, which didn't lack in the action department. You have the train scene at the end. You have the standoff at Magneto's nice little weekend getaway, which of course never goes well for him. That's another complaint. We'll save that one for the end. You have the scene in the very beginning when the X-Men shoot off into space to save the astronauts. I love space, so I might be a little bit more biased than most about that. And then, of course, you have the scene and the sequence that they absolutely spoiled in the trailers pertaining to a particular death with Mystique. That's actually another well done sequence. It's actually very reminiscent of the Superman standoff scene in Justice League. Joss Whedon's version, anyways. We'll find out next year what it really was meant to be. It's a solid movie. Much better than Apocalypse that came before it, because at least this one isn't boring and overly long to the point where you're ready to check out. But now we have some of the complaints. You got Jennifer Lawrence. She was really, really good in First Class. And then she got really, really famous. And you could feel in Days of Future Past that there were just some days where she just didn't really seem like she wanted to be there. And then Apocalypse happened, and oh my goodness, you get the feeling that she was held at gunpoint off camera to be there and read her lines and then go back to her trailer. It's almost the same here. I mean, she has one of the worst lines in the entire movie pertaining to the name of the X-Men and the women. It's a little too on the nose, especially for a movie that takes place in the 90s, but made today. They should have double checked that one before they put it out. And you have Michael Fassbender as Magneto. His performance, Michael Fassbender himself, there is nothing wrong with it. The dude kills it. He's like really one of the two main reasons to see this movie. The other being James McAvoy, who that dude could sell me a bottle of water as I'm swimming in a pool, and I'd go for it. I'm tired of the Magneto who has everything and then they take it all away from him because the good X-Men somehow managed to screw it all up. It's just so frustrating and it's so irritating. And I hope that when Disney finally puts their X-Men out, we can push past it. We can look past that. We can move on. We can just have a happy-ish Magneto, or just make him fully evil. I don't care. Just stop giving the man a cake and then pushing his face into it. Movie after movie after movie. It's frustrating. It's like watching Bruce Wayne's parents get got every single time. I'm the one that needs therapy now, not Bruce. And then you have Jessica Chastain. Wonderful actress. I couldn't even tell you her name in the movie. I have no idea. Now, I could pop this movie in right now. I could skip all the way to the end credits. I could read it, and I could walk back over here 3 seconds later. Wouldn't even remember it, because the movie doesn't care. There were some reports about some rights belonging to certain people and some rewrites and reshoots and everything like that. That's fine. I get it. Stuff is all screwy when it comes to these Marvel properties, but like, you can't let that shoot down the main focus of the movie, which is literally this alien race that rolls up out of nowhere in a pretty decent scene. Honestly, feels like a 90s horror movie of sorts with how they're introduced, but then you barely get any backstory or anything like that. Those are my biggest complaints about the movie. It's just, after the delays and the reshoots, you could feel that Disney just wanted to be done with it so then they could just chart their own course and sail away with billions at the box office, and maybe Tom Hardy as Wolverine. Fingers crossed, that'd be wonderful. But it is what it is now. The movie is out. It exists. I saw it in theaters opening night. I own the 4K special edition that comes with a pretty big, cool pull-out poster, which honestly is some pretty sick artwork. I might show that to you guys in a minute. I'm not saying that this is the greatest superhero movie of all time. That is reserved for Captain America. But it's not terrible. It's not as bad as the people make it out to be. Spoiler alert, look at that artwork, people. Look at that. Sick. It is sickening how good that man is. I can't draw a stick figure without it looking like he's got a third appendage. It's creepy. But this is amazing. So, if you guys get a chance, if it happens to roll up on FX or anything like that, or if you have Disney Plus and you're bored, just give it a watch. You know, it wouldn't hurt. It's a short movie. It'll be over before you even blink. It's painless. Plus, if you are a fan of the X-Men franchise all the way up to this point, I'm not going to say you owe it to yourself to watch it, but at least give it a shot. What's the worst that could happen? Besides losing a couple hours of your life and maybe hating someone that you've just watched a YouTube video on and you don't actually know them in person. Yeah, you know what? Just make up your own mind on that. But the point is, it's not a bad movie. Give it a shot. If you like it, hit me up. Let me know. If you hate it, hit me up. Let me know. You know, I'm open to all the comments. You let me know. We can discuss it. We can be civil about it. I'll bring the tea. You bring the cookies. We'll have a great time. Until next time, me and my movie collection are signing off. It's late. I'm in my jammies. The wife's sleeping. I'm going to go to bed. We'll catch you guys on the next video.